As you recall in an earlier training video, in the budget resource video, we learned how to group our resources by types, like all the work together, the materials, and then the costs, and be able to compare that against the budget that we had for each of those different types. Now here I want to go over it again, but with a bit more information, and also this video will have its own titles, so that way you can quickly identify if this is what you want to watch, as opposed to going, let's see, there's something about grouping. What video is that? Well, you can go off the keyword here, group, but it's going to be grouping cost by budget type. In any case, once you learn how to group, no matter what you're doing it by, you'll pretty much be able to get the concept and group whatever you want. So here, I want to group cost by budget type, which means I want to compare the incurred costs thus far to the budget costs. Because as you're going through the project, and let's say that you're incurring costs really fast, and your project is far off from being completed, well, that's a red flag. I don't want to run out of funding before we complete the project, in which case I can quickly go to the client and say, hey, we need more money, even though we've burned through most of the cash here. Otherwise, you're not going to get your project done. In any case, to go ahead and do this, let's come over here and right-click on the view bar and go to the resource usage view, because we're, again, going to group them by resource type. So we need all the resources together. And you've got, well, here's one type of resource, Writer 1, which is a work resource. And you can scroll down here and you've got your material resources, and then there's the cost there, and then we've got our budget. Now let me click and drag the split bar over. Right now I just have these two fields. I want to bring in more fields, like for the budget, so I can see what budget that we set aside, because the work is not going to display the budget for the labor. So if I come up here and right click on the column header and go down to insert column and type in budget, there we go. We've got the budget work and budget costs. Now, coincidentally, the budget material is going to be found in the budget work. So when I select that, you can see down below that the materials will show up as well as the work. So you don't want to come up here and go, oh, I need to insert budget materials. It's going to only be found under budget work. So you get two birds with one stone. When you insert budget work, you get your work hours for the resource type of work, and then the materials for, again, the material resource type. Let me go ahead and come over here and right click and insert the actuals for the work, and then let me come over here and insert a few more columns, and I'll quickly do that and bring you into the video here. Okay, here's where we're at. We've got the budget work, actual work, and work. Then we have the budget cost, actual cost, and cost. So the actuals is what we're seeing at that point in time, what's coming in, what's being completed. So you can see for Project Manager 1, of the 12 hours that he has to work on these two tasks here, he's only gotten 4 hours in. So the actuals, when he's done, when the actual matches up against the work, that means that, well, whatever he's working on is 100% completed, at least for him being assigned to that task. Now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and group these by resource type, so I can get all the work resources together and be able to get a summary for the work, so the summary of what we incurred so far isn't over the budget for the labor here. Okay, and as you recall in an earlier training video, this is the budget cost, even though it says budget miscellaneous. I did that so I can show you that you can type in whatever you want as long as the cost field is assigned to it as that resource type. You can name it whatever you want. Okay, so that is the budget cost, and I could rename it budget cost, but I'll leave it. And then the budget labor is budget work, and then material, obviously material there. Okay. So instead of coming up here and going, let's see, what hours have we incurred so far, and going 20 plus, let's see, 4, and using your fingers or a calculator, group it by resource type to get the summary for the work, so you can compare that summary of what's incurred so far against your budget. Come up here, click on the View tab, go to the Data group, click on No Group to Resource Type. There you go. Let's go ahead and scroll up. There's the first group, the resource type work, and you can see that the budget is 600 hours, and the actuals that have come in, or the work that we've completed so far, is 114. And of course, if you look at the work that we have set aside for the entire project, is 378 hours, which, hey, we are going to be well under the 600, unless of course along the way people are just adding in more and more hours. That's why we have this budget set aside, so in case if it goes over the original plan, as long as it's not over the budget, then we're good to go. So let's go ahead and scroll down here and go to the next group, Materials. You can see down here what we budgeted in reams. And so actually we haven't completed any or entered in the actuals for the reams that have been used, but the reams have been assigned to print final and for the plain paper print draft. In any case, if the work here comes in as the actuals, we're well under the budget there. And you'll notice that we didn't get a grouping where it gave us the total of 4 reams. So that you might have to go ahead and count up. And then below that we've got our cost. So the budget is $2,000, and so far we've got the assigned cost of $1,300. We just haven't put it in as the actual here. So if this is the actual, type it in, and there we go.
Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for great specials on my products, please see the description below this video.